Habits to be 1% better every day. Stoicism. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Epictetus. Today, we dive into a concept that holds incredible power. Becoming 1% better every single day. For those who are on a journey of self-improvement and seek to integrate Stoic principles into their lives, this video is for you. We'll be exploring practical Stoic habits that can help you make small, consistent improvements, leading to remarkable change over time. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers timeless wisdom on how to navigate the ups and downs of daily life. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot, we can find clarity, peace, and a sense of purpose. But why aim to be 1% better each day? The magic lies in the power of small, consistent habits. These tiny improvements, when accumulated over time, can transform our lives. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Instead, focus on steady, manageable actions that, over time, add up to substantial growth. Imagine just a 1% improvement each day. By the end of the year, you'll be far ahead of where you started. In today's video, I'll guide you through Stoic habits that not only align with ancient wisdom but are also supported by modern science. Each of these habits is designed to help you improve, little by little, every day. Let's get started. Habit 1. Practice temperance. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. This simple truth from Stoicism sheds light on why the practice of temperance, or self-control, is so vital in our lives. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept up in the pursuit of excess, whether it's through indulging in material goods, seeking constant pleasure, or being driven by our impulses. Temperance, however, teaches us to step back, evaluate, and choose a path of moderation that allows us to focus on what truly matters, without the distractions that can lead us astray. Practice temperance. It's about finding balance, about having the discipline to say no when everything around you urges you to say yes. This is not just about resisting temptations but understanding why we need to do so. The modern world constantly encourages us to consume more, do more, and seek more. It feeds off our desires, often making it seem like the more we acquire or achieve, the happier we'll be. But Stoicism challenges this notion by reminding us that our true power lies in self-mastery. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This is a reminder that self-control and restraint are the keys to freedom, not the endless pursuit of external rewards. For men aged 30 to 65, especially those in the prime of their careers and family lives, the pressure to succeed, provide, and excel can be immense. Yet temperance teaches that restraint is not a weakness, but a strength. It's about controlling your reactions, your desires, and your impulses so that you can channel your energy into what truly matters: your health, your relationships, and your personal growth. Think about how often stress leads you to make impulsive decisions, whether it's overeating, overworking, or overspending. Each of these habits can spiral into something much bigger, stealing away your peace of mind and health. Practicing temperance, on the other hand, allows you to make conscious choices that reflect your values, rather than succumbing to fleeting desires. It's essential to understand that temperance doesn't mean deprivation. Rather, it's about striking a balance, enjoying pleasures without being enslaved by them. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, understood this deeply. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he meant was that we should not be ruled by external things or allow them to control us. By practicing temperance, we take control of our own minds, making deliberate choices that align with our long-term well-being, rather than short-term gratification. Now let's relate this to modern life. Imagine a scenario where you come home from a stressful day at work. Your first instinct might be to unwind with a few drinks or a binge-watching session. While this may provide temporary relief, it doesn't address the root cause of your stress. Instead, consider how you could approach this situation with temperance. Perhaps you could take a walk, spend time with your family, or practice meditation. Each of these actions, while simple, represents a conscious choice to manage your stress in a healthier way. Over time, these small, controlled actions add up, leading to a more balanced, fulfilling life. The beauty of temperance is that it empowers you to set boundaries for yourself. It's the discipline to eat moderately when everyone else is overindulging, the restraint to spend wisely when others are caught in a cycle of unnecessary spending, and the strength to pause and think before reacting impulsively. Aristotle once said, "I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self." By controlling your desires, you are not limiting your life. You are actually enhancing it by ensuring that your actions are deliberate and meaningful. For instance, in today's digital age, one of the biggest challenges is the constant influx of information. Social media, news updates, and endless notifications can overwhelm us, making it difficult to focus on what's truly important. Practicing temperance here means setting limits on screen time, choosing to disconnect from the digital world when it becomes a distraction, and focusing on activities that enrich your mind and body. This might mean reading a book, engaging in a hobby, or having a meaningful conversation with a loved one. Each of these acts is a reflection of self-control, a deliberate decision to invest in what brings real value to your life. Moreover, temperance extends beyond personal habits. It's also about maintaining balance in relationships. For men who are balancing careers, family, and personal ambitions, the ability to practice temperance means not letting one aspect of life overshadow the others. It's the skill to give attention to your work without neglecting your family, and to pursue your passions without letting them dominate your life, to the detriment of your well-being. Cicero, another great thinker, said, "Moderation in all things." By applying this principle, you learn to give each part of your life the attention it deserves, without allowing any single area to consume you completely. The real challenge, and perhaps the most rewarding aspect of temperance, is learning to apply it consistently. It's easy to make a promise to yourself to cut back on unnecessary expenses, to eat healthier, or to be more present in the moment, but it's much harder to follow through every single day. This is where the Stoic concept of continuous improvement comes in. Even if you can't master temperance overnight, you can start by being 1% better each day. Recognize your triggers, understand where you tend to lose control, and slowly work on them. This way, you are not just aiming to be better, but you are also cultivating a habit of self-awareness and resilience. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you are tempted to act impulsively, pause for a moment. Remind yourself of the Stoic wisdom that has endured for centuries. "He who is not a good servant will not be a good master," said Plato. In the context of temperance, this means that if you cannot control your desires, you will be ruled by them. Take charge, make deliberate choices, and let each decision reflect the man you aspire to be. The practice of temperance, while challenging, is ultimately liberating. It frees you from the shackles of impulsive behavior, allowing you to live with intention, purpose, and clarity. Habit 2. Managing emotions. Managing emotions is one of the most crucial habits to cultivate, especially if you aim to improve yourself by just 1% every day. Emotions are a fundamental part of being human, but when left unchecked, they can be powerful forces that derail your progress, cloud your judgment, and lead to decisions you might regret. Think about the last time you got really angry. Did you say something you wish you could take back? Did your frustration cause you to act impulsively, making a situation worse instead of better? Now consider the wisdom of the Stoics, who understood that our emotions, when left uncontrolled, could be our worst enemies. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." This simple truth captures the essence of managing emotions. Life will throw challenges at you, but you have the power to choose how you respond. And this response, my friend, is where your true strength lies. Now let's make this idea more tangible by looking at a simple story. Picture someone who works a high-stress job, balancing multiple responsibilities at once. Let's call him John. John's days are filled with meetings, deadlines, and unexpected problems, and sometimes it feels like everything is happening all at once. One afternoon, a client calls him, upset over a misunderstanding. John feels his anger rising as the client begins to blame him for the issue. His heart rate increases, his face heats up, and he's ready to snap back. But then, he takes a moment to breathe. He recalls a lesson he learned about managing emotions, that reacting impulsively would not only escalate the problem, but also undermine his credibility. So, he takes a step back, listens calmly, and responds with a clear, composed tone. Instead of a heated argument, the situation turns into a productive conversation and the problem is resolved. In that moment, John's ability to manage his emotions didn't just save him from unnecessary stress, it also earned him respect. And this is a skill that you can develop too. The power to pause, assess, and then respond, rather than react, can be your greatest asset in life. Why is managing emotions so important, especially for men aged 30 to 65 who are navigating their careers, relationships, and personal goals? It's because at this stage of life, the stakes are higher. You might be building your career, supporting a family, or trying to make a name for yourself. And emotions, whether it's stress, anger, or even excitement, can push you off balance if not handled properly. Managing your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It's about understanding them, accepting them, and using them to your advantage. It's about finding that inner calm, even when the storm rages outside. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he's telling us is that while we can't control what happens around us, we can control how we choose to perceive and react to those events. That's where our true strength lies, not in avoiding emotions, but in mastering them. Think about how emotions impact your daily life. Maybe you've been frustrated at work because a project isn't going as planned, or you felt overwhelmed by personal responsibilities. When emotions take over, it's easy to make impulsive decisions, say things you don't mean, or even procrastinate, avoiding problems because they feel too overwhelming. But what if instead, you learned to manage those emotions, to recognize them as signals rather than threats? For instance, when you feel anxious about a task, it might be a signal that you need more preparation, rather than a sign that you should avoid it altogether. Or when you feel anger rising, it could be a sign that something important to you is at stake, and it's worth finding a way to address it constructively. This is what managing emotions is all about, transforming raw feelings into insights and actions that serve your goals rather than derail them. Consider this. You're driving, and someone cuts you off, almost causing an accident. Your first instinct might be to honk, shout, or even chase after them. But why let a moment of anger ruin your whole day? Instead, you could take a deep breath, remind yourself that this moment doesn't define you, and carry on. This small act of controlling your reaction can make a significant difference. You remain in control rather than giving away your power to a momentary lapse. The Stoics believed in focusing on what we can control, and we can't control how others drive, but we can control how we respond. This principle applies to everything in life, from how we handle disagreements with colleagues to how we deal with family conflicts. It's not easy, of course. Emotions are complex, and there will be days when managing them feels impossible. But even on those days, making a small effort can have a big impact. Start by practicing awareness. When you feel a strong emotion, don't rush to act on it. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What's really bothering me? This self-reflection can provide clarity, turning confusion into understanding. Over time, this habit of introspection will become second nature, helping you navigate difficult situations with a calm, clear mind. Another effective technique is to reframe your thoughts. Instead of thinking, "This is a disaster," try asking, "What can I learn from this situation?" By changing your perspective, you can turn obstacles into opportunities, much like the Stoics did. You might be wondering, can I really change how I handle emotions? The answer is yes, but it takes practice. It's about progress, not perfection. Each time you manage to stay calm when you would have previously lashed out, you're becoming 1% better. Each time you choose to approach a problem with patience rather than frustration, you're improving. And these small, consistent improvements add up over time, leading to significant growth. Think of it as training a muscle. The more you practice managing your emotions, the stronger and more resilient you become. The lesson here is clear. You can't always control what life throws your way, but you can control how you choose to respond. And this choice can make all the difference between a life filled with chaos and one guided by clarity and purpose. So the next time you find yourself on the verge of losing your cool, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, is this reaction going to help me, or will it create more problems? Remember the words of Seneca, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." Don't let fleeting emotions dictate your happiness. Instead, take charge of your emotional responses, and in doing so, take charge of your life. Habit 3. Negative visualization. Negative visualization, also known as premeditatio malorum, is a powerful Stoic practice that can dramatically change the way you approach life, and it is one of the most essential habits to adopt if you wish to become 1% better every day. The concept might sound a bit gloomy at first. After all, why would anyone want to focus on the negative? But it's not about dwelling on bad things. It's about preparing yourself mentally for life's inevitable challenges so that when they do occur, you are not caught off guard. Let's consider this. Have you ever been completely thrown off by an unexpected setback, perhaps a sudden expense, a misunderstanding with a friend, or a failed project at work? When these moments hit, they often bring a wave of stress, disappointment, and even panic because we weren't expecting them. The Stoics understood that life is full of uncertainty, and they taught that the best way to face it is not by hoping that nothing will go wrong, but by being ready for when it does. As Seneca said, "He robs present ills of their power, who has perceived their coming beforehand." This is the essence of negative visualization. By imagining potential obstacles and losses, you build resilience and peace of mind. Let's expand on how this practice works and how you can incorporate it into your daily routine. Imagine starting your day by taking a moment to reflect on what could possibly go wrong. Think about the meetings you have scheduled, the tasks you need to accomplish, or even the commute you're about to take. Ask yourself, what are the things that could potentially disrupt my day? Maybe a meeting gets canceled, your car has a flat tire, or you receive some criticism you weren't expecting. By acknowledging these possibilities, you are not inviting them to happen, but instead preparing your mind to handle them calmly if they do. Think about it. If you've already considered that your car might break down, and you've thought of a backup plan, you're less likely to feel frustrated or stressed when it actually happens. Instead, you'll simply take the necessary steps to address the issue, and your day will continue with less disruption. This way, you're not wasting time and energy on panic. You're conserving your emotional and mental resources for what really matters. You might wonder, isn't this just a pessimistic way to live? Not at all. The goal here is not to expect the worst, but to be prepared for it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, often practiced this technique. He would begin his mornings by reminding himself that he would likely encounter selfishness, rudeness, or ignorance throughout the day. By doing so, he was not making a negative prophecy. He was preparing his mind to deal with such situations without losing his composure. When you anticipate that not everything will go according to plan, you build a kind of mental buffer. You won't be caught off guard by the usual ups and downs of life because you have already rehearsed them in your mind. This practice can be especially helpful for those moments when you are facing important challenges, Whether it's a major presentation at work, a difficult conversation with a loved one, or a significant life transition, think of negative visualization as a way of building emotional immunity. Just as you strengthen your body by exposing it to small amounts of stress, such as through exercise, you can strengthen your mind by imagining and accepting potential difficulties. This doesn't mean you should obsess over every little thing that could go wrong. Rather, it's about being honest with yourself about the fact that life is unpredictable. As Epictetus put it, it is not things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those things. If you've already envisioned yourself calmly handling a delay, a rejection, or a piece of bad news, you've trained your mind to see it as manageable rather than catastrophic. This shift in perception can make all the difference. Now let's relate this to modern life. Have you ever prepared for an important meeting by thinking about the tough questions you might be asked? You don't want those questions to come up, but by considering them, you prepare yourself to answer them confidently if they do. Negative visualization works the same way, but on a broader scale. Let's say you're planning a big event, like a wedding, a business launch, or even a vacation. Instead of just hoping everything goes perfectly, consider what might not go according to plan. What if it rains? What if a key person can't make it? What if there's a last-minute change? By preparing for these scenarios in advance, you're not being pessimistic. You're setting yourself up to handle whatever comes your way with grace. This practice also helps in managing your expectations, which is a vital part of maintaining inner peace. One of the main reasons people feel disappointment is because they expect things to turn out perfectly, and when reality doesn't match up, it leads to frustration. But when you have already thought about the possibility of setbacks, you're less likely to be devastated by them. You've already played out the scenario in your mind, and it doesn't seem as scary or overwhelming as it would have been otherwise. This doesn't mean you shouldn't hope for the best. It just means you should also be prepared for the less than ideal. Another benefit of negative visualization is that it helps you appreciate what you have. When you take the time to imagine losing something you care about, your health, your job, your relationships, you develop a greater sense of gratitude for them. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's incredibly effective. When you realize how much you would miss something if it were gone, you naturally value it more. This makes you more mindful of how you spend your time, how you treat others, and how you approach your daily activities. Instead of taking things for granted, you start to see them as precious gifts. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," which reminds us that many of our fears never actually come to pass, but by imagining them, we can reduce their impact if they do. So, how can you start practicing negative visualization in your own life? Begin by taking a few minutes each morning to think about the day ahead. What could go wrong? What challenges might you face? Don't just think about the big things. Consider the small, everyday annoyances too. Then, imagine how you would respond calmly and effectively to each situation. You might even find it helpful to write these scenarios down, along with your planned responses. Over time, this will become a habit that helps you stay grounded no matter what life throws at you. Let's ask ourselves, how often do we let fear of the unknown prevent us from taking action? How many times have we been caught off guard by something we could have anticipated if we had just taken a moment to think it through? The Stoics were not trying to make life harder by thinking about what could go wrong. They were trying to make themselves stronger, more adaptable, and more capable of dealing with the reality of life. Negative visualization is about mastering the art of being prepared. It's about developing the mental agility to handle adversity with composure and clarity, rather than letting it overwhelm you. The practice of negative visualization can transform the way you handle life's challenges. It equips you to face setbacks with resilience and reduces the stress and anxiety that come from being unprepared. It makes you more appreciative of what you have and less fearful of what you might lose. As you go about your day, try to adopt this mindset and see how it changes your reactions to life's little and big surprises. Remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By imagining and accepting potential difficulties, you don't just prepare for them, you take control of how you face them. This is how you can grow, little by little, becoming 1% better every day. Thank you for joining us in today's video. Before we move on to the next part, I want to take a moment to express my appreciation for you. It's truly a pleasure to have you as part of our community. Feel free to share your thoughts, experiences, or even just say hello in the comments. If you're new here, simply comment, "I am a newbie," and if you've been with us for a while, let us know by saying, "I am Stoic." Your engagement means a lot and keeps us motivated to bring you more valuable content. Now let's continue this journey together, shall we? Habit 4. Keep an open mind and keep learning continuously. The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. Albert Einstein. This timeless quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of continuous learning, a habit that is crucial not just for personal growth, but for thriving in an ever-changing world. Now let's explore why keeping an open mind and committing to lifelong learning is a powerful practice, especially for men aged 30 to 65 who are navigating their careers, family responsibilities, and personal goals. The modern world demands adaptability. The moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. This is why Stoicism, a philosophy known for its practicality, emphasizes the importance of being a perpetual student of life. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This simple but profound statement is a reminder that the moment we close ourselves off to new ideas, we limit our own potential. Keep an open mind and keep learning continuously. This is not just a suggestion, it is a vital habit for anyone who wants to improve by 1% every day. You see, having an open mind means more than just being receptive to new information. It means actively seeking out opportunities to expand your knowledge and understanding, even in areas where you might think you are already an expert. It's easy to become complacent, especially when you have achieved a certain level of success in life. You might think, "I've got this figured out." But that mindset can be a trap, causing you to miss out on growth opportunities. Keeping an open mind involves curiosity, humility, and the willingness to challenge your own beliefs. Take Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, for instance. Despite his position of power, he constantly reminded himself to stay humble and learn from everyone around him. "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself," he wrote, emphasizing the importance of self-reflection and growth. Now, let's put this into a modern context. Think about how quickly technology is advancing. If you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 60s, you've seen firsthand how industries can change almost overnight. Those who adapt are the ones who thrive. Those who refuse to learn, to change, to evolve, they find themselves left behind. Take the example of a successful professional who has been working in the same field for decades. He has honed his skills, gained expertise, and perhaps even become a leader in his domain. But then, a new technology emerges that changes the way his industry operates. What should he do? The answer is clear. He must learn. He must embrace the new technology, understand how it works, and find ways to incorporate it into his existing skill set. This is not about abandoning what you know, but about building on it, about layering new knowledge on top of your existing foundation. But why is it so hard for many people to keep an open mind? One reason could be fear, the fear of stepping out of their comfort zone and confronting the possibility that there's more to learn. Another reason might be pride, the belief that admitting you don't know something is a sign of weakness. However, the truth is, there is no strength in clinging stubbornly to what you know while the world changes around you. In fact, the true strength lies in acknowledging your limitations and striving to overcome them. Socrates, regarded as one of the wisest men to have ever lived, famously said, "I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing." This attitude of humility is the cornerstone of continuous learning. It's about recognizing that there is always more to discover, more to understand, and more ways to grow. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you learned something new? Not just because you had to, but because you wanted to. Did you read a book, attend a workshop, or engage in a discussion that challenged your perspective? If not, what's holding you back? Some people might say they're too busy, but the truth is, continuous learning doesn't require hours of study every day. It can be as simple as reading a chapter of a book before bed, listening to a podcast on your commute, or even asking questions during a conversation. Each of these small actions adds up over time, gradually enhancing your understanding of the world and your place within it. The habit of keeping an open mind and learning continuously is like planting seeds. They may not sprout immediately, but with time and care, they will grow into something substantial. One of the best ways to cultivate this habit is by surrounding yourself with diverse sources of information. Don't just stick to what you already know. Explore new topics, read books from different genres, and expose yourself to viewpoints that challenge your own. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything you read or hear, but by understanding different perspectives, you broaden your own. In modern life, where information is readily accessible, there's no excuse for ignorance. You can learn about virtually anything from the comfort of your home. But with this access comes the responsibility to filter what you consume. Be critical, be discerning, and be curious. The benefits of continuous learning are endless. For one, it keeps your mind sharp. As we age, it's common for cognitive functions to decline, but studies have shown that engaging in lifelong learning can keep the brain active and healthy. Moreover, the more you learn, the more connections you can make between different pieces of information, leading to greater creativity and problem-solving abilities. Think of it like a toolkit. The more tools you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever challenges come your way. Learning also enhances your adaptability. When you're faced with a new situation, whether it's a career shift, a change in personal circumstances, or even a global crisis, your ability to adapt depends on how well you can learn and apply new information. Consider the story of a man named Robert. In his early 50s, Robert had a successful career as a graphic designer. However, with the rise of digital marketing, he noticed that the industry was shifting toward more integrated online platforms. Instead of resisting this change, Robert decided to enroll in an online course on digital marketing. He learned about SEO, social media strategies, and content creation, even though these were not skills he had previously needed. By doing this, Robert not only retained his relevance in the industry, but also opened new opportunities for himself. He managed to expand his services, attract new clients, and even mentor younger professionals entering the field. Robert's story is a testament to the power of keeping an open mind and being willing to learn continuously. Let me ask you this: are you ready to embrace new challenges, to push beyond the limits of what you think you know, and to grow into the best version of yourself? The world is constantly evolving, and if you want to keep up, you must evolve with it. The moment you decide that you've learned enough is the moment you start to stagnate. There's always something new to discover, whether it's a skill, a piece of knowledge, or even a new perspective on an old problem. The Stoics believed that wisdom was the ultimate virtue, and wisdom comes from learning, observing, and reflecting. As Seneca said, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. The habit of keeping an open mind and learning continuously is about more than just acquiring knowledge. It's about growth, adaptability, and resilience. It's about facing the world with curiosity rather than fear, and with humility rather than arrogance. Life is unpredictable, and the only way to navigate it successfully is to equip yourself with the knowledge and skills that allow you to adapt to whatever comes your way. So, challenge yourself to learn something new every day, even if it's just a small thing. Read a book, watch a documentary, ask questions, and most importantly, stay curious. By doing so, you'll not only improve by 1% each day, but also become a stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled individual. Habit 5. Practicing minimalism. Practicing minimalism is about far more than just owning fewer things. It's a mindset that can reshape the way you live, work, and think, helping you to focus on what truly matters. In our modern, fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the constant drive for more. More possessions, more status, more distractions. But the Stoic approach to minimalism encourages us to ask, do we really need all this to be content? Epictetus, a revered Stoic philosopher, once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This simple yet profound statement is at the heart of minimalism. It's about shifting your focus away from acquiring more and towards appreciating what you already have, thereby creating space for the things that genuinely bring value to your life. Let's take a moment to explore why this habit is so powerful and how you can integrate it into your daily routine. Think about the last time you bought something new, maybe a gadget, a piece of clothing, or something for your home. How long did that feeling of satisfaction last? Did it fade away after a few days or weeks, leaving you looking for the next thing to fill that gap? This is a common cycle many people find themselves in, but it's also one that keeps you from finding lasting contentment. Practicing minimalism breaks this cycle. It allows you to shift your focus from external possessions to internal fulfillment. By consciously choosing to own less, you're not just clearing physical clutter. You're decluttering your mind, reducing stress, and making room for more meaningful experiences and connections. Let's bring this concept into a real-world scenario. Picture someone named Mark. Mark was a successful professional, always striving to have the latest technology, the newest car, and the best designer clothes. On the surface, it looked like he had it all. But despite his successes, he often felt overwhelmed, as if he was always chasing something that kept slipping away. One day, after reading about Stoicism, he decided to try something different. He started by simplifying his home, donating items he didn't use, and getting rid of things that only served to distract him. Next, he looked at his schedule and cut down on activities that didn't add value to his life. Instead of spending weekends shopping or scrolling through social media, he began dedicating time to things he genuinely enjoyed, like spending time with family, reading, and going for walks. Gradually, Mark noticed that he felt lighter, less stressed, and more at peace. He realized that he didn't need to chase after the latest trend or gadget to be happy. By practicing minimalism, he had found more clarity, purpose, and balance in his life. So why should you consider adopting this habit? Minimalism isn't about living with nothing. It's about living with intention. It's about asking yourself, do I really need this? Will this add value to my life? When you begin to see the world through this lens, you start to recognize how much unnecessary noise surrounds you, and more importantly, how much of it distracts you from what truly matters. This doesn't just apply to physical objects. You can practice minimalism with your time, your relationships, and even your thoughts. Are you filling your days with tasks that don't really matter, leaving little room for the things that do? Are you maintaining relationships that drain your energy rather than uplift you? Are you constantly worrying about things that are beyond your control, cluttering your mind with stress and anxiety? Consider this. How much of your daily life is filled with things you don't need, things that don't bring you joy or fulfillment? Maybe it's time to take a closer look and start letting go. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about freeing yourself from the constant need to acquire so you can invest your time, energy, and resources in what truly makes you happy. The Stoics practiced this by reminding themselves regularly that the essentials of a good life were few and simple, a mindset that allowed them to maintain inner peace even when faced with external challenges. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Minimalism, then, is not just about reducing what you have. It's about transforming your perspective. When you focus less on material possessions and more on quality, you gain a new sense of freedom. You begin to realize that you don't need to keep up with the latest trends or buy into every new fad. Instead, you can choose to invest in things that have lasting value. This could mean spending more time building relationships, focusing on personal growth, or simply enjoying the quiet moments of your day without feeling the need to fill them with distractions. For example, instead of buying the latest smartphone every year, maybe you choose to use your current one until it no longer serves its purpose. Or instead of cramming your schedule with activities, you prioritize the ones that bring you joy and help you grow. This way, minimalism becomes a lifestyle choice that supports your values rather than detracts from them. To put it simply, practicing minimalism helps you reclaim your time, energy, and attention. In today's world, where consumerism is constantly urging you to buy more, do more, and be more, this can be a radical yet rewarding act. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you focused only on what truly mattered? Would you have more time to pursue your passions, connect with loved ones, or maybe just relax and reflect? What if instead of adding more to your life, you decided to subtract? Could you find happiness in less? These are the questions that minimalism invites you to explore. Incorporating minimalism into your daily routine doesn't have to be drastic. Start small. Maybe begin by decluttering a single room in your house, or spend a week tracking how much time you spend on activities that don't add real value to your life. Once you identify the areas where excess has crept in, take conscious steps to simplify. This could mean donating clothes you no longer wear, unsubscribing from emails that clutter your inbox, or even just spending 10 minutes each day in quiet reflection, free from screens and distractions. Over time, these small acts of simplification can lead to a profound change in your mindset, helping you to prioritize what's truly important. The lesson here is simple. Minimalism is not about scarcity. It's about abundance in the things that matter. It's about clearing the clutter so that you can see what's truly valuable and dedicating your resources, your time, energy, and money to those things. As you start practicing minimalism, you'll notice a shift in how you approach life. You'll feel less burdened by the need to acquire, less pressured by the expectations of others, and more focused on what brings you genuine joy. So, ask yourself today, what can I let go of to create space for what truly matters? Remember the wisdom of Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. By learning to crave less, you're not just simplifying your life. You're enriching it in ways you might never have thought possible. Minimalism, when practiced with intention, can lead to a life that is not just less cluttered but more meaningful, more joyful, and more aligned with your true self. Habit 6. Practicing resilience. Practicing resilience is a fundamental habit that can transform how you navigate life's challenges, and it's one of the key principles in Stoicism that helps you become 1% better every day. Resilience is not just about bouncing back from adversity, it's about facing difficulties head-on and emerging stronger, wiser, and more capable. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well you plan, there will always be moments when things don't go your way. Maybe it's a setback at work, a financial strain, a health issue, or even a personal loss. The question is, how do you respond when faced with these situations? Do you let them break you, or do you see them as opportunities to grow? Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound truth emphasizes the power of resilience. It's not about avoiding life's storms, but learning how to sail through them. Let's dive deeper into what it means to practice resilience and how you can build this habit into your daily life. Resilience starts with a mindset. It's about accepting that setbacks and challenges are a part of life, not a deviation from it. When you accept this, you stop seeing obstacles as unfair disruptions and start viewing them as essential parts of your journey. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation and managed to get through it. What did you learn from that experience? How did it shape the person you are today? Often, The greatest lessons come not from our successes, but from our struggles. And this is where the Stoics shine. They teach us that every challenge, every adversity, is an opportunity to cultivate strength, patience, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, put it eloquently when he said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacles you face are not just barriers but paths that lead to growth if you choose to face them. Now, consider how resilience plays out in modern life. Take someone named Alex, a small business owner who invested time, energy, and money into building his business. One day, he learns that a major client has decided to go with a competitor, leading to a significant financial loss. It's a blow that could easily lead to despair. But Alex, instead of giving up, decides to take a step back, assess what went wrong, and find new ways to attract clients. He reaches out to previous customers, improves his marketing strategies, and diversifies his services. Over time, he manages not only to recover, but to grow his business beyond where it was before. This is resilience in action. Alex's success didn't come from avoiding problems. It came from facing them, learning from them, and adapting. You can apply this same mindset to your own life. When things go wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to become stronger? Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, see it as a stepping stone on your journey to improvement. Resilience isn't just about mental toughness. It's also about flexibility and adaptability. You might have a plan for how things should go, but what happens when life throws you a curveball? Are you willing to adjust, to change your approach, and to find new solutions? Being resilient means not being rigidly attached to a particular outcome, but being open to different paths that can lead to success. This flexibility is what allows you to keep moving forward, even when the road is rough. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Just as your muscles grow stronger when you push them to their limits, your resilience strengthens when you confront and overcome challenges. It's about building the mental stamina to endure tough times and emerge with a clearer sense of purpose. Let's take a closer look at how you can build resilience into your daily life. One of the best ways to do this is through the practice of negative visualization, a Stoic exercise that involves imagining possible obstacles and preparing yourself mentally for them. This doesn't mean dwelling on worst-case scenarios. It means acknowledging that things won't always go as planned, and that's okay. By preparing yourself for setbacks, you're less likely to be caught off guard and more likely to respond calmly and effectively when they happen. For example, if you're working on a big project at work, think about what could potentially go wrong. Maybe there could be delays, or maybe a key team member might fall ill. By considering these possibilities in advance, you can plan for them, ensuring that if they do happen, you have a strategy in place to deal with them. This way, when challenges arise, they don't throw you off balance. You're ready to face them with resilience. Another important aspect of resilience is maintaining perspective. When you're in the middle of a crisis, it's easy to feel like it's the end of the world. But take a step back and ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? 5 years from now? Often the problems that seem overwhelming in the moment will fade into the background over time. By keeping a long-term perspective, you can reduce stress and prevent yourself from overreacting to temporary setbacks. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems. It means approaching them with a sense of calm and proportion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reminder to focus on what you can control, rather than what you can't, is a core element of resilience. It helps you to center your energy on productive actions instead of wasting it on unchangeable circumstances. Now, let's address a question that might be on your mind. How do you stay resilient when it feels like everything is against you? Start by building a support system. Resilience is not a solo endeavor. It's about reaching out, connecting, and finding strength in your relationships with others. Whether it's friends, family, or mentors, Having people you can talk to during difficult times can make a huge difference. They can provide support, offer advice, or simply listen, and sometimes that's all you need to regain your strength and perspective. Another strategy is to focus on self-care. Resilience requires energy, and you can't be at your best if you're exhausted, stressed, or burned out. Make sure you're taking care of your physical health by eating well, getting enough sleep, and staying active. Mental and emotional self-care is just as important. This might mean meditating, journaling, or spending time doing activities you love. By taking care of yourself, you're building a strong foundation that helps you stay resilient even when things get tough. The practice of resilience is about learning to embrace challenges, not avoiding them. It's about seeing obstacles not as things that stand in your way, but as opportunities to test your strength and grow. Ask yourself, what if every difficulty you faced was a chance to improve, to learn something new, or to become a better version of yourself? How would that change the way you approach life? When you start to see problems through this lens, you no longer view them with fear. You face them with curiosity and determination. This is the essence of Stoic resilience. It's not just about enduring hardship, but about using it as fuel for growth. Resilience is a habit that can transform your life. It empowers you to handle adversity with grace, to learn from failure, and to keep moving forward no matter how tough the journey may be. It's a habit that takes practice, but with each challenge you face, you'll find that you grow a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more prepared for whatever comes next. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is your reminder that the obstacles you face are not there to stop you, but to guide you, to push you, and to help you become better, 1% at a time. So the next time life throws you a curveball, don't back down. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it make you stronger. This is how you build resilience, and this is how you can keep growing every day. If you've made it this far, you're on the path to becoming 1% better every day. Drop a comment saying, "I am growing," to show you're committed to this journey of self-improvement. Stick around because the best is yet to come. Habit 7. Practicing self-discipline. Practicing self-discipline is a fundamental habit that serves as the cornerstone for achieving success and personal growth. In today's fast-paced and often chaotic world, the ability to control your actions, desires, and impulses is what sets apart those who merely wish for success from those who actually achieve it. Self-discipline is not about restricting yourself to the point of discomfort, but about directing your energy and focus towards what truly matters. It's about making the tough choices now so that you can reap the benefits later. Epictetus, a well-known Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This highlights that true freedom is not the ability to indulge every whim, but the ability to control your actions and direct your efforts toward meaningful goals. Self-discipline is about mastering yourself so that you can navigate life with intention and purpose, rather than being led astray by fleeting desires. Let's break down why self-discipline is such a crucial habit and how you can start building it into your everyday life. For many, the challenge of self-discipline often begins with resisting temptations, whether it's the urge to procrastinate, overindulge, or avoid difficult tasks. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal, only to find yourself getting distracted or giving up because something else seemed more enjoyable at the moment? The Stoics understood that while it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of pleasure, real fulfillment comes from self-control. Consider this. Every time you resist an urge to act impulsively, you strengthen your self-discipline, much like a muscle that grows stronger the more you exercise it. Over time, this discipline can become second nature, allowing you to stay focused on your goals even when distractions are abundant. Take, for example, the story of a man named David, who decided he wanted to get fit and lead a healthier lifestyle. Like many people, he was excited at first, hitting the gym regularly and sticking to a balanced diet. But after a few weeks, the novelty began to wear off. and he found himself tempted to skip workouts and indulge in unhealthy snacks. David realized that if he allowed himself to give in to these small temptations, his goal would slip further away. So he made a conscious effort to practice self-discipline by setting a strict routine, planning his meals in advance, and reminding himself of why he started. Over time, what began as a challenging routine turned into a lifestyle. The same principle applies to any goal you set for yourself, whether it's advancing in your career, learning a new skill, or building stronger relationships. Self-discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote is a powerful reminder that while you cannot control external circumstances, you have complete control over your actions, your responses, and your choices. Practicing self-discipline involves taking responsibility for your life by focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. For example, you might not be able to control how busy your work schedule is, but you can control how you manage your time. Instead of spending hours scrolling through social media, you could use that time to learn something new, plan your day, or connect with family. By consistently choosing actions that align with your goals, you slowly but surely carve a path toward success and fulfillment. Why is self-discipline particularly important for men aged 30 to 65? At this stage of life, many are balancing careers, families, and personal ambitions. The demands can be overwhelming, and without self-discipline, it's easy to lose focus, waste time, or spread yourself too thin. Practicing self-discipline allows you to prioritize effectively, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your values and long-term objectives. For instance, if your goal is to advance in your career, it might mean dedicating time every day to learning new skills, even when you'd rather relax. If your goal is to build stronger relationships, it might mean being present with your loved ones instead of letting work or distractions take over. Self-discipline is not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making consistent, small, intentional choices that lead to significant progress over time. Another aspect of self-discipline that's crucial to understand is the concept of delayed gratification. In a world where instant rewards are at our fingertips, whether it's through online shopping, fast food, or entertainment, the idea of waiting for something seems almost foreign. However, the ability to delay gratification, to choose a long-term reward over immediate pleasure, is a hallmark of self-discipline. The Stoics practiced this by reminding themselves to focus on what truly mattered, rather than chasing fleeting pleasures. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This is a lesson in learning to find contentment in what you have, and to strive for goals that bring lasting fulfillment, rather than momentary satisfaction. Think about how often people chase short-term pleasures, only to feel empty afterward. By practicing self-discipline, you learn to prioritize your long-term happiness over temporary indulgences. Now let's bring this concept into a modern context. Consider a typical weekday when you have a long list of things to do. You know that finishing a particular task is important, yet the temptation to take a break, watch TV, or browse the internet is strong. What do? If you choose to give in to that temptation, you might enjoy a brief moment of relaxation, but you'll likely end up stressed as your to-do list remains unfinished. On the other hand, if you practice self-discipline, you push through, complete the task, and then reward yourself. That satisfaction of knowing you accomplished what you set out to do far outweighs the fleeting pleasure of a distraction. Over time, making these disciplined choices builds confidence and a sense of control over your life. Building self-discipline is a journey, and like any skill, it takes practice. Start by setting small, achievable goals. For example, if you want to read more, set aside just 10 minutes a day for reading. If you want to get fit, start with short, manageable workouts rather than overwhelming yourself with an intense regimen. Gradually, as you start achieving these small goals, you'll build the confidence to take on bigger challenges. It's also important to recognize your triggers, the things that cause you to lose focus or act impulsively. Maybe it's stress, boredom, or social pressure. Once you identify these triggers, you can create strategies to manage them, such as taking short breaks, practicing mindfulness, or setting clear boundaries for yourself. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. Each time you make a choice that aligns with your long-term goals, you strengthen your discipline muscle. Self-discipline is the key to unlocking your potential. It's about taking control of your actions, staying focused on your goals, and making intentional choices even when it's difficult. The journey of self-discipline is not always easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. Remember the words of Epictetus. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This is your call to action. Decide what you want to achieve, and then commit to the habits that will get you there. Self-discipline allows you to navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose, turning obstacles into opportunities and goals into realities. So ask yourself, what is one area of your life where you can practice more self-discipline today? It doesn't have to be a big change. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your life transforms one disciplined decision at a time. By committing to this habit, you'll find that not only do you become 1% better each day, but you also build a life that reflects your highest values and aspirations. Thank you for joining us today on Stoic in Your Life. We've explored powerful habits inspired by Stoicism that can help you become 1% better every day. From practicing temperance and managing emotions to building resilience and self-discipline, these habits are all about making small, intentional changes that lead to significant personal growth over time. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Take control, stay focused, and let each step guide you closer to your best self. If you found value in today's video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos on how to live a more purposeful and balanced life. What habit will you start focusing on today to make that 1% improvement? Let us know in the comments below, and let's keep growing together. See you next time.